Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jacob with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. Beautiful day here in the Annapolis area, Maryland. Uh, Lovely, lovely. So it's looking good for a lot of us that are staying focused and making things happen in the world. Now, I talked to my daughter.
Staying focused and
She basically
making things happen in the world.
was in.
Now, I
She spent a little time. We spent a little time in Sedona, Arizona. And I was talking to her about an event that I did a couple years back, where I was speaking, and we spoke in the high school. In the uh, they had like a real nice arena, and very 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 nice. So I spoke there, and I remember speaking in some of the classrooms. I did a different stuff there, and my daughter told me, and I thought it was kind of strange because the time frame we were there, I didn't see any kids. It looked like the place was a little overgrown because it used to be immaculate. I remember when we were there in what was it, 2005, 2006, somewhere around that time frame. And the school was full. It was like the most beautiful school my kids had been to. They were both honor students, doing really good there. My son was playing in a band. He played soccer. He played like when they'd have I think when they had the school football games, he would play Star Spangled Banner, Jimi Hendrix, so on the guitar. So it was pretty cool. It's a good time for them. And so she was telling me that school, that high school, which was like the most beautiful high school I've ever seen anywhere, had the best teachers. It was like super, I mean, recognized and acknowledged and all kind of stuff. There's no longer any high school students that are going there. So there's not enough high school kids in Sedona anymore. So they bus them, like, if there's still some there in the area in Sedona, they bus them like an hour to another school to go to school. Very, very sad because of, people aren't having babies anymore. It's just like there's no families there anymore. It's just, older people there that are settling, and there's like Airbnbs all over the place. Very, very sad. That's happening. Of course, my son unfortunately passed away because the next, his generation is getting wiped out through drug use, and it's very sad, very sad. And like my daughter, she's now talking about having kids, so that's good. Maybe we'll continue it on with her. But I mean, there's a lot of people out there now that are not having kids. It's a huge, huge drawdown, I think, in humanity across the world. The rate of I think Japan's in a negative. I think America's in a negative as far as we're not replacing ourselves with Americans, right? Then maybe that's one of the reasons why they kept pushing for illegal aliens to come here, because the birth rate is so low. So very, very tragic. There's a lot of things that are doing to increase that, guys. They're really trying to knock humanity down. Now, I recommend you listen to Catherine Austin Fitts and Tucker Carlson. Watch that interview. It's not that long, a little over an hour. Catherine Austin Fitts, I've always liked her. She's very, very, has a lot of insight, has a good background. She's not a BSer, she's not just winging stuff. She's, out there crushing it. Kind of like me. I like her. And so they were talking, she was talking about how they have made I don't know, I think she's at 127, 157 underground bases, cities and all kind of stuff, because they're anticipating some kind of event here on the surface. And maybe that's one of the reasons why they're trying to draw down the surface level population, and why they predicted that here in the U.S. and in Europe, there would be a massive decrease in population. Massive. I think it's well over 100 million in the United States. I think it's set like 70%, which would be like there's only 100 million left. And then same thing in Europe. Big drawdown in population. So that's a Deagle report. Many people talk about it over the years, so everybody's kind of aware of that. And we're like, okay, we'll see what what might happen. But you know, there's a lot of things they're pointing to. They really want to knock humanity down, right? So I'm all about surviving, and I'm trying to convince a lot of people to survive. You just keep going. You know, you have things that kind of like, you know, shake things up. You know, like my son passing. Yeah, shook things up. It's tough, but you know, you have to pick up and keep going, because there's going to be that all the time. I saw lots of friends die over the years, and I really think that, you know, those of us that survive going forward, well, you could like go down into the deep state's underground cities, and they can control you down there. I'm like, yeah, I'll take my chances up here. So whatever's coming. So who knows? You know, we've had catastrophic events. I've been trying to like, you know, warn people that there's a possibility that something like that could happen for many years. And but it hasn't happened. And will it happen? I think it's a possibility. I think actually there's a good possibility. So we'll see. I'm a great survivor. I've got really good skills, and I think everybody should, you know, be ready for crazy stuff out there. So what's going, and of course, you know, there's the Wuhan flu that came in. That's part of that agenda to decrease population. We have the World Economic Forum that's trying to control everything. Now they ultimately want to control all of us, and they want to do a digital currency, so that if they tell you that you need to get off social media, Michael Jacob, because you're like disclosing way too much stuff, and I'd be like, okay, whatever, I'm still going to do it, and they'd be like, okay, we're going to just shut down your debit card until you behave. You won't be able to get any food. You won't be able to pay any bills. And then we're going to like do all kinds of background checks into your finances and find out, you know, where we can steal money from you, so you don't have anything left. So Catherine Austin Fitts talked about that, how they did that to her, right? So her family, because she'd helped her family out, they got behind her and helped her out. And she talked about how she had helped, you know, many people in her family, like $250,000. You know, she was, you know, doing well, so she helped other family members. So they did the same for her. So I think that is what we, you know, need to do going forward. We need to be like family, big family, and help each other out, you know, going forward. And definitely, that's what I'm trying to do the best that I can with this information that I try and strive to release every day. So even when major curveballs come, right? So China erupts, furious workers riot as factories collapse under Trump's tariffs. Some people haven't been paid since January, and they're starting to riot. In Shanghai, outside an LED light manufacturing plant, unpaid workers shouted furiously at camp managers over wages they haven't been paid since January. So over the last month or so, there's been waves of ships that have been coming, delivering stuff, and now it's almost stopped, right? I've heard some things in some stores like Walmart and Costco and so forth are not there anymore. So, you know, there is a possibility that we'll see some, you know, downsizing and so forth. Now, Catherine Austin Fitts said that this is some of the things that they had planned. They also planned on, you know, the food supply being an issue. We saw, you know, over the last 4 years with Biden, that he basically, his administration, of course, he didn't do anything. He was just a puppet boy that wasn't even there, right? Like Trump said, Biden doesn't even know he's alive, right? Because he wasn't, and it was somebody else playing him. So they, under that regime, basically, they tried to destroy our food industry. They came after farmers. Right now, I think it's I don't know if it's a Food and Drug Administration or one of the government agencies. It could be that one, where I remember reading the article where they're basically pushing back on other agencies that are harassing farmers. So they've been harassing farmers. Chinese companies or Chinese groups have been coming up buying farmland. So this is part of a bigger globalist type of move, guys, to basically take down America. And it's becoming unsuccessful. There's a lot of pushback that's happening, and they're failing on many different levels. Now, China's deep state is basically crumbling. We want to see more of that. And of course, whatever government starts to fail, they take everybody to war. Now, will China do that to us? China doesn't normally do that, but it's a possibility because China has had a lot of income from the West, especially the U.S. And the U.S. is basically saying, no, we're not going to give away everything now. And Trump said that we've given them $1 trillion a year. They were making from us $1 trillion a year. Imagine what you could do with an economy that at one time was a third world economy, and now it's first world economy and almost surpassing the U.S. So imagine, over the many, many years, they've been basically stealing from America, taking American factories, taking American jobs, and they have become wealthy and very successful from America, basically giving that money to them, sending our jobs and our industries over there. So that's in a fast reverse coming back. All right. So I think that America is really going to stand up strong, stand up hard going forward. Now, will we have enough people, right, to do that? We'll see. We'll see how that works out. So Trump is even saying he wants women to make babies. So we've seen that before in the past. So the French came up with the word F-U-C-K. That's a French word because they wanted babies because they were having wars. All these wars were taking all the men away, so they needed more men. So they wanted a lot of effing going on. All right. So I don't know what's going to motivate that to start happening because it seems like a lot of people don't want to do that in this time frame. So things are going to have to change now. Catherine Austin Fitts talked about how back in the 1990s, they were trying to get it to the point where more people could be successful, make money, and be successful. And for me, I would give it all away for certain things. I don't need to be successful. I just want to live a nice, comfortable life. Now I'm visiting with people, and I've seen a lot of people over the years that have been successful in their earning years, but as they age, we all contribute to Social Security and all these other schemes. And when you give your good hard-earned money to Social Security or whatever, it really makes a ding in your pocket. And, you expect that to come back to you, but I can tell you, and a lot of other seniors can tell you that is not what happens. All right. You don't get the bang for your buck that went out. It doesn't come back to you. So we're in a declining and a collapsing situation economically here, Europe and America. So that's going to be something that has to get resolved. It has to be, and that's what we're seeing with the Trump administration, basically doing the hard, heavy hitting that it's going to take to make this thing turn around and right itself. So it is a beast. This beast is against us. It wants to consume us, but we have to, work together, fight back, and come up with a better plan. So what is that better plan? That better plan is getting rid of the globalists. Getting rid of the globalists because they want to completely control us, and they want to make us minimalized as human beings on Earth. They want to minimalize us as much as possible. They've been fairly successful in a lot of places. So will that happen in America? It remains to be seen, quite frankly. Now, in UN's United Nations 2030 agenda has been rejected and denounced by the United States. They didn't just denounce it; they basically turned the table over when they walked out. It was pretty severe. Now, I'm going to play this little clip where they're at the General Assembly, and U.S. counselor is basically denouncing the UN agenda, and it's because the U.S. has voted for not doing that.
The United States strongly supports efforts to sustain peace and pursue diplomatic solutions to crises around the world. We firmly support individual rights as expressed through freedoms of expression, association, peaceful assembly, and religion or belief. They are fundamental to America's security and the promotion of tolerance, mutual respect, and peace around the world. We, however, have decided to call a vote on this resolution. We have a concern that this resolution reaffirms Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals. Although framed in neutral language, Agenda 2030 and the SDGs advance a program of soft global governance that is inconsistent with U.S. sovereignty and adverse to the rights and interests of Americans.
So we're rejecting the UN governing us. I mean, it's ridiculous to even say that, but it was moving that direction. It's been moving that direction. They control the money. They control everything about you. That's what the banksters want to do. If the banksters have their way, of course, that's what they're going to do. You're not going to be able. You go 1 mile past an area where you're supposed to be, and they shut down your bank account. Right? Your card, your bank that's digitally controlled by central control system, because we know the NSA basically has data and it collects data on every individual in the world, right? And they're massive, complex. So obviously that can be used to protect us or to control us, right? So we're going to continue to see this push to control, eliminate as many of the population of Earth as possible, and also come in and control the remaining people that are here. So how does that go? How does that work going forward? I know a lot of you people here in this chat and in that will watch this, the tens of thousands of you that will watch this and it'll be shared all over the world. You're probably saying, I would never do that. I would never let that happen to me. And that's good. That's very good. Now, Catherine Austin Fitts said that if she was in a board with all these people, and they do have that switch, if they were able to turn a switch and they would turn off all the drug use in a county, in a state, in the United States or in Europe, all the drug use, because they control it. They control the drug use. The globalists, right? So if we decided we were going to flip that switch and there was no more drug use for the world, how many of you would flip that switch? Out of 100, only one. And the reasons were they wanted to make sure they still got paid. They wanted to make sure they still had their retirement, on and on and on, that kind of stuff, guys, right? So that is the world we're in. People don't want to make the hard decisions. And drugs are just one thing. We have homeless could be eliminated. Homelessness could be eliminated all throughout the world. Many diseases, almost all of them, quite frankly. There should be no disease. And that could easily be countered very quickly, very easily. There's different things that you can use, like the Life Away product that I promote. So there are seemingly magical, amazing things that actually are out there. Of course, in the description box, LifeWave information. I have my own website, so you can go visit that and learn more. I also have a team of people that if you want questions or if you want to sign up under somebody, they will help you out. So, yeah, no more drugs worldwide, right? Yeah, Lena. So that's possible. We could do that. Boy, I would have liked that. Trying to get my son off drugs and trying to get him in a situation where, he was definitely of the light. He fought very hard battle. Once you get into any kind of addiction, as anyone knows, it's hard to get out of it. It is very difficult, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, sex, whatever it is. It's very hard, unfortunately, to get out of that. And then when you get out of it, it's so easy to go back for a lot of these people because it's so prevalent everywhere. Now in the Middle East, I like going to the Middle East because it's not prevalent there. All right. So I try to keep my son over there, but of course he has to come back here to America. Now, he was quite the warrior of the light, though. You know, he did a lot of great stuff. We tried to give him as much room to grow as possible, and then we'd like come back and help him, and it's just on and on. It shouldn't be that hard. Life shouldn't be that hard, but it is, and they make it hard. They make it hard here in America and in you know, some parts of the world, Europe being one of them. But you go to the Middle East, basically, you get caught peddling drugs, you get killed, right? And if you're using, then you're going to unfortunately live a significant period of time in jail. So that's going to be you know, hard to go into the level where, you know, we overcome a lot of these things, because a lot of people resist. You got just 1% that would, like, you know, flip that switch. That's pretty sad. So it is. It's going to continue, obviously. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys have a lot of insights. A lot of you guys have seen a lot of great success. We had great success with my son over the years. But again, you're going to be exposed to it. It's everywhere, like I said. So, and what about war? So, well, what about war? Well, it seems like, you know, we're moving to a situation where we have Trump basically pushing back very, very hard, very successfully on Ukraine. So he just signed some kind of mineral rights deal with Ukraine, where from this point on, if they get any help from the U.S. militarily, they have to give us a piece of Ukraine. And I think rightfully so. The president of Lukashenko, I can't remember, Lukashenko, I think she's the whatever. So one of the guys that's there, it's not Putin, but one of the people there is basically saying Ukraine just basically signed a death sentence because they won't be able to, because they're losing their land, and a lot of the land where the mineral rights are, they're going to lose those. So it's going to be it's rapidly diminishing what they can give to stay relevant. Now, we all know that this is basically the Nazis from World War II in Ukraine that raided into Poland, and, you know, were part of those slaughterhouses, and, you know, where they cook people and so forth. And I got to be careful when I talk about some of that stuff. But there is a good reason to believe that those people that were part of the war machine with Nazi Germany in Ukraine, they're very prominent, the nationalists, if you will, and the ultra neo-Nazi nationalists, whatever. So they're in control. They're in control of Ukraine, and they're probably all going to be eliminated. Now, will we see, just like we saw during Germany, when we basically defeated, or somehow Germany was defeated, but were they? No, I don't think they were, because a lot of those people came to the United States. They went down to Antarctica, and they went to Argentina. So they have Bavarian villages in Argentina. They all talk about how the Germans came there. Lots of German kids. Of course, they mated with Argentinian women. So they there's like, you know, German-looking Argentinian women. So there's will Ukraine lose, and a lot of those Ukrainians come to America? Will they? They have already started. Yeah, lots of them. The more successful ones that have money are already here in major numbers, guys. So the Nazis, you know, filling up America again like they did before in the past. So how is that going to affect America going forward? probably not good, because the last wave of Nazis we got here pretty much took over, right? And really made an impact. And there's a deep state. There's a completely different government that are outside of our laws and our governance. They govern from another realm. Those of us that are in this realm, right? And I'm not playing like, mystical or anything. It's like physical beings that are, with lots of power and money and so forth, are calling the shots, and we have to overcome them. The only way we overcome them is to band together, and we get more than one person that's ready to flip that switch. It's the only way that we'll ever do that. We'll ever win. Otherwise, those of you that wouldn't flip that switch, you're going to probably be down in those dumb cities, living your life with whatever happens up here. I don't know. So that's pretty much the way. And a lot of you will probably volunteer to go down there and live a life that's even live among them. Those that are controlling us or trying to control us here on the surface, they will have a lot of control down there. It won't be any freedom down there. So they're trying to stranglehold us in our freedoms here. So we have to fight for our freedoms. We have to push for our freedoms. And the only way we can do that is we band together and start to talk and share this information. So you guys know that I've talked about how the judicial system has to be overcome, because they basically have a different judicial system for themselves. All right. And that judicial system is very well ingrained right now. So the rogue judge strikes again, blocks deportations of Venezuelan gang members. How is there any logic in that at all? Any logic? That's obvious. It should be obvious to everyone that they want to keep those drug dealers and gang members here to control the situation and use them to control the situation and destroy our way of life. I mean, I've seen it. I've been trying to talk about it for years. It slapped me upside the head pretty hard again. So this guy, this judge, this deep state mofo, federal judge, has prevented the Trump administration from deporting alleged. See, they always say alleged. They're not alleged. They're known Venezuelan gang members from South Texas using the Alien Enemies Act. So this is the way they run their programs, their communication. So they're using communication to dumb down humanity, and let's say you're like, I'll go down to the dumps. There's a catastrophic event coming. I'll go down the dumps. And they're like, okay, get in line. And you notice there's like, you hear screams up ahead, right? But you don't want to turn around because they told you that you're going to be safe. You're going to be safe. It's okay. Go there or you're going to die up here. So you just keep going. And as you get closer to where the screaming is, people's trying to turn around, and then you see these poles come in and start zapping people and make them go forward. And then you get zapped, you get pushed forward, and then you get slaughtered like sheep. Yes, they chop you up and eat you. All right. So that's pretty much where we're at. We're very close to that as it is. I don't know how much further we can go before they have complete control. Now we're on the precipice, I think, of regaining our control. But imagine if President Trump, some assassin out there, finally get around in there, and he's gone. What do you think is going to happen then? Of course, he's a front for a larger organization, but who is going to step up and take his place? There's no one. Right? The only thing that we can do right now is gather and start to work together and become more people that would flip that switch and not get in line to go into the dumbs, right? Into the slaughter. And it could be the dumbs, it could be somewhere else. I don't know. Either way, we have to defeat this judicial system that basically is aligned against us. So Representative Jim Jordan, who's got a fiery mouth, but accomplishes nothing with his fiery mouth. He just all talk. Nothing gets done. Oh, yeah, he's for us. He's for us, but nothing happens. And that's the way the deep state runs things. What if they let Trump? What if they let Trump, get popular? And they just put pressure on him like they think we're going to take him, but we're not. And what if they let him win so that everybody's like, we won, we're going to do good. And then you're like, everybody's running, everybody's having a good time. We're jumping in the pool and swimming. We're having a good time and kicking back, relaxing. And then all of a sudden they come in and slaughter us. Right? So that's happened before in the past. Ask the czar and his family, right? Well, you can't because they killed them all. But, in Russia, they were like, well, we had the Red Army. They basically got very powerful and we fooled you guys. We told you that, if you do this, we'll do that. And you did that. And we did this anyway. And now you're out of power. But we're basically going to pick up your family and we're going to escort you out. We're going to give you immunity, diplomatic immunity. You can go live in France, in Paris or something. Just gather all your family together. And then they gathered all the family together and they came in and friggin' slaughtered them in a room, right? They slaughtered them, right? So that's the way the deep state works. You don't make deals with them. You don't make deals with Zelensky unless, like, Putin has given Zelensky I think 5 different opportunities to do peace, and he's rejected every single one of them. So every time he rejects a peace agreement type situation like he just has done, then the odds go worse against him. He loses more. He loses more of Ukraine. More people die. The people that are in Ukraine suffer more. And then it's like, okay, we were going to do this, but that's way in the past. Now we're going to take this, we're going to take that. You're going to do away with this. You're not going to do that. Blah, 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 blah. And no, we're not going to do that. It's too severe. All right. So more people die. They get more land. That's the way this thing works. Russia is going to continue to do the heavy work, just like they did in World War II. Just like they did in World War II. They're going to just slaughter the Nazis. They're slaughtering the Nazis. And I say we need more Nazis to volunteer to go to Ukraine. Go to the Russian front. Go to the Russian front. Go Nazis, go. Go Nazis, go. Right? You can win. You can see. We can play that game with them. The deep state boys. Deep state boys. You can win. Go. Play. Go play. You guys are hot. You're going to win. You're going to win. Go to that Russian front. You're going to win. Go, boy, go. Right? And then they die. And then they die in big numbers. So I often think, what if my son had gone into the military and instead of dying of overdose, he died in the battlefield, It would kind of be the same. Unfortunately, because almost every war we've ever been in is a deep state war. I look back on all of my times, it's deep state bullshit, right? So, I mean, I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, you did this, you did that, you're a hero to our country. Deep state bullshit, right? Any war that's happening right now is deep state bullshit. And you're like, well, this. COVID, no wars, no nothing all over the world. Hello. So could it stop? Could drug abuse stop? COVID, everybody locked down? There's probably still some drug dealing going on. I'm sure it was, but unfortunately. But the real drug dealing came in when they went, that'll save you. That'll save you. So I don't know. We'll see. Not very confident that Ukraine's going to win at all. I don't think the Nazis are going to win this time. I think we're going to win against them. We're going to continue to push. or at least I am. It's like I'm that one person that's going to flip the switch, right? So, and then it ends it. So I'm flipping switches. I'm flipping all the switches that I get my hands on. I'm low crawling under the barbed wire, and while bombs are going off all around me. So, flipping switches. So this is very, very interesting. The Trump to nominate NSA Waltz as UN ambassador. So he fires him from one position, and he hires him in another. I don't quite understand what is going on with that, right? So Trump taps Mike Waltz as UN ambassador, James Rubio and Marco Rubio as national security advisor, until he gets another person that can fill that slot. So Rubio, dual-hatted. I think he's great. I said all along that Rubio was good. Of course, little Marco, as Trump called him when they were in the presidential race. He didn't make it, obviously, but I always thought that Marco Rubio was good. He had good focus, and that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing him basically, do an exceptional job, in my opinion, in the State Department, which really needed to happen because the State Department was pretty much overrun by the CIA and controlled by the CIA. So it looks like to me that Marco has pretty much taken the State Department away for the most part from the CIA. That's not going to be complete until the CIA is completely gone at some point in history. I don't know when that happens, but until the CIA is completely gone, we're not going to see the State Department completely free because they have their hands too far down, way down their pants, all the way up to the elbow, I think. They're puppeting, right? Leave it to your imagination how that puppeting works. But that's pretty much what I saw when I worked there, right? So anywho, we have California losing important Valero oil refinery, exclusive supplier of Travis Air Force Base. Now, could there be an act where President Trump comes in and says, "Oh, no, you are not California, you bastardos are not going to do toxic regulatory environment bullshit and high cost," right? So I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, the environment." A lot of Democrats are, that's great. I love the environment too. I love the environment probably more than most people, wilderness and so forth. But California has incredibly horrific drug addiction and homelessness going on in their streets, in their downtown streets, everywhere on a horrific level, right? Almost every major city in California. San Diego. I remember when I was in San Diego, when I was a young Navy, before I was a Navy SEAL, when I was a hard hat diver. What was that? In 1979, 80. Downtown San Diego was a shithole. Homeless everywhere. It's like it wasn't as bad as it is now. San Diego is even worse than then. But I thought, wow, how horrible. And then we had good governors come in, and they basically turned around a lot of California. California became very prosperous, very very beautiful. San Diego, downtown San Diego was like one of the places you wanted to be. Built great malls down there. They had great places to go eat. Then they had the trolley system. You could get off. They put a nice ball field down there. The hotels were like massive and luxurious. They didn't have any of that when I was a young sailor, right, in the 70s and early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. Then it turned around, and now it's turned around again. Maybe it's a cycle. Maybe it's a shit cycle. I don't know. But pretty much every major city in California is a shithole at this point. Of course, there's some areas that are not. I grant that, but you don't have to go far to see the shitholiousness that is inundated California. So they're going to have it turns out the biggest casualty in California's war on fossil fuels may be our national security. So Governor Newsom signed into law a measure ordering energy product producers to stockpile gasoline, despite pushback from industry. So you're going to come in and tell an industry how they are going to make money and how they are going to give products that everybody wants and everybody uses. You're controlling the market, all right? Now, I know a lot of people say, well, isn't Trump controlling the market? Trump is making an even playing field. California is destroying any possibility of an even playing field by going after these energy producers like this. So we have Phillips 66 announced plans to stop operations at its Los Angeles area refinery in the fourth quarter of 2025. How much do they provide? The facility, which processes between 145,000 and 170,000 barrels of crude oil per day, has been a significant economic engine for the city of Benicia and a major supply of gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and asphalt for the California market. I think I saw somewhere, I don't see it right now, but I think it was like 17% of California's energy market. 12%. All right, 12%, a little bit higher. So generates about 12% of fuel in California. So it's going to go away. Valero CEO Lane Riggs cited challenging regulatory and enforcement environment for the decision to cease operations. And Benicia's closure is the latest in a series of planned refinery shutdowns in the state. In October, Phillips 66 opens a new tab, said it would shutter its Los Angeles area refinery by the end of the year. So that's what it's talked about. So California's total oil consumption averages about 1.4 million barrels per day. This means that Benicia refinery processes about 12% of the oil uses. California already has the highest gasoline prices in the country. Imagine where they're going to go now. Wow. You poor Californians. I used to be there with you, right? So Newsom blamed rising gas prices on refiners' price gouging. No, it's from your stupidity, your Democrat stupidity. And so this is part of what I'm talking about as far as like economically, we're in a situation here in America where it's collapsing. Our economic system is collapsing. So a new one has to come in. So the old one has to collapse. The new one comes in. And will free energy be part of this? I believe it will. Will this reason why this leaving be part of a new energy? California's going to only hope and pray. I don't know. I don't know if there's much praying going on in California. There's a lot of music industry and Hollywood. They are very satanic, right? All right. So Valero contributed about 20% of Benicia's tax base. So social services, roads and all that stuff. City workers, bye-bye. Right? Tax base is going to like 20% of the tax base. Wow. So yeah, that's a really, really, really good visual for you guys to see that the economic system, as we've been talking about it, is being destroyed. It's being destroyed by the deep state. Gavin Newsom, you know how I like to say it like that, but he has been very effective at destroying one of the biggest engines in the economic engines of America. At one time, I think California was, if not the number one, state as far as like producing income and whatever. And I think at one time they're like, 4 or 5 in a world or something crazy. That's no longer. So, and people have been leaving California by massive numbers. And of course, that's going to continue. So that's very shameful. It's very sad that California has to go through that. But that's just more of what we've been seeing. That's going to continue. And it's not going to slow down. It's not going to stop. And a lot of states are like that. Washington, Oregon, Illinois, New York, I'm hearing from people that I'm here with here in Maryland. They're telling me about how New York is basically being destroyed. The city of New York, taxes out of control. This one guy that has a house, a beautiful house in the Catskills, that this couple that I'm with, basically go up and visit him, or visit this other couple that's in the Catskills, New York. They have a condo, nice condo in New York, and just to get to his condo, I guess there's some kind of tax. I don't know. Maybe that's what they told me. Is that it's $9 in tax for him every time he leaves his condo and comes back to his condo. And there's people there's not enough parking there, so people are parked on the street, and they're sitting there with their lattes reading the paper, and the street sweeper comes along and they like move to the other side because your car's in the way. Then basically you get towed and ticketed for $100 or something crazy. So street sweeper goes through, and then he like swoop back over, get another, and then they're off. It's crazy living in New York. I can't imagine why somebody would, but of course, it used to be city of New York was absolutely amazing. Lots to do, lots to see, food, the shows, the stores. I think of that song Green Acres, Zsa Zsa Gabor, and she's like, she's talking about how she loves Manhattan. Give me Park Avenue, do. All right, so no more. All right, she's gone to the country. She's out in Green Acres. Green Acres, we are there. So it is quite a shit show in a lot of these cities, a lot of these Democrat cities. And it's I don't even with Trump here, guys, doing the things they're resisting. They're fighting him. They got their deep state judges. They got their deep state governors like Newsom, and what's I always forget that fat boy in Illinois, mayor or governor. What is Shittick or something? And so that's kind of, and we have Hochul in New York. Hochul. Another deep stater basically got placed there. She didn't get voted in. It is sad. Yeah, that's right. Jelly Belly Prickster. That's right. That's what I want to say. Prickster. I knew it was some kind of shitty name. So he's Big Belly Jelly. Right. Of course, he's probably going to be the new president of the United States. Democrats are going to probably win next time. So they're going to make Trump look so bad, and Democrats and all the Democrats were going to get behind Prickster and get him in there. So I mean, he can make things happen because he made sure that we didn't have toilet paper last time. His family is big into toilet paper, which makes a lot of sense. They're full of it, right? So wow, so much. Now the stock market is kind of shaky. Yesterday it was down hard, and then it turned around. It came back about even. Then it gapped up today, and it sold off at the end, pretty heavy, but it's still up. So we'll have to see, what happens tomorrow. But as I'm looking, let's see. As I'm looking at it, it looks like it might be down. Let me double check here. Yep, it's down pretty hard. All right. So after hours, it's down pretty hard. There's a lot of gaps, and you know how I talk about gaps got to be filled. So there's a lot of gaps on the downside. I think we're going to see stock, because it basically went up to a certain high where it collapsed. It tested that. Looks like it might have got it rejected, and now it's going down. So okay, so Apple reported. Looks like Apple's down pretty hard, so they must have had Mercer reported something not so good. Amazon's now hard. So there you go. You have Amazon and Apple reported their earnings they must not have liked them. And so they're getting hammered right now and after hours. Yesterday, it was Meta and Microsoft. They overperformed in their earnings, so they boosted the stock market pretty hard today. But you only have like a couple stocks, and everybody's like, oh, everything's great. So, although everything is like collapsing, we have the same collapse in housing prices. Now, there's more money in housing than there is in the stock market, way more. So we're going to see housing prices continue to collapse, and they're going to collapse pretty significantly, same as they did in 2002, 2009. And of course, we had the stock market, collapse. We will have the stock market collapse. It just remains to be seen at what point it collapses. Will it go to even higher highs? I think that's a possibility. It should collapse now, but I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Right? We've effed around, and now we're going to find out. Right? But I hope you have silver. I pray and hope you guys got silver, because silver is going to overperform when the stock market eventually collapses. Silver will pull back a little bit like it always does, and it's going to boom, like it always does. It always does that. Now we've seen gold pull back. Now, why has gold pulled back? Because China's selling. Why is China selling? I don't know, because they've been accumulating like crazy. Maybe China is selling because we're not giving them so much money anymore, so they can't buy it. And not only can they not buy it, they have to sell their gold to cover their cost and to keep their people from rioting. Right? That's what I think. And I'm just a simple boy, so I don't know. I just look at things and I'm thinking, nobody's telling me this stuff, but I'm looking at it and it's like, I've been around the world. And I've seen a lot of things. Right? And this looks like a point where the economy collapses, right? And it has to collapse because it doesn't serve us. It sucks, right? Bad. And it has to go bye-bye. But a lot of you guys don't care. A lot of you guys aren't going to. You're not that one person that's going to flip that switch. You're like, I've got mine. I don't care. I don't care if we have people overdosing. I don't care if we have the deep state basically building underground bases and going to other planets on our dime. At least I have mine, right? So that's just I've lived my life, my whole life, almost given my life many times, in the idea that I was serving America and the world, although I was serving a different master. But I was learning along the way, and I've learned a few things. I've learned that we're manipulated and that we're controlled, and the only way to break that control is to awaken and push back and say, no, you're not gonna take my freedoms away. You're not gonna get control of my money. You're not going to push me into the slaughterhouse. I'm not going to go down in the underground dumps. Oh, you've been like spending my money on underground dumps? F that. That's enough of that bullshit. And you're spending all this money going to all these different planets, and I don't get to get involved in that. I don't get to know about that. I don't get to see what that's about. That's effed up too. Right? And on top of that, you got these like super secret weapons, like directed energy weapons. You're like burn our cities down. No. I don't care about my retirement. I won't be able to spend it if I get burned in my house by the direct energy weapon. So you guys need to wake up about this. You need to get involved, or you can let them control you and let them slaughter you and whatever. It's up to you. So for me, I'll continue to push. I'll continue to inform, and we'll have our groups that work together. Like we're doing now, and we'll push back, and we'll have great prosperity. What would be great prosperity? So imagine, if you will, you're living in a world where when you retire, you are able to do all the things that you wanted to do. You've served, you have given, and now it's your time, right? And then maybe, like me, you just continue doing stuff. Right? So you find a niche somewhere and you just continue to serve, and you continue to, you know, give your heart, give your soul to people, and help people out. So, and maybe you just take it won't be obviously no IRS. Yeah, no IRS. I don't think there's any IRS now. I don't give anything to IRS. So it'll be like that in the future. Many of us will basically say, F that, no more. And we'll somehow get away with it, I guess. And if we don't, we don't. If we do, we do. And those of us that do, we help each other out. There's lots of things out there, so you don't have to pay the IRS. I've had many people on shows over the years. We've talked about this. There's been courses you could take. I'm not involved in that anymore, right? So for me, it's like not even the rearview mirror. It's so far behind. It's like, you know, it's kind of like we talk about, you know, that vaccination program. Everybody knows it's bullshit. But I still kind of like talk about it, and it doesn't get the views like it used to, because everybody's like, I know about that. That's bullshit. Yeah. Okay. Bullshit. Same bullshit. But, you know, but you want, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? We need to, you know, get the next thing and keep it going. So, finger red, number one finger. What are you doing? Yelena. Right. So we'll probably see a turnaround, a massive turnaround in the system, a collapse of the system, and it will basically break the back of the deep state. I think it's very close. What is allowing that to happen is because more and more of us are, you know, pushing the envelopes. And as we push the envelope, we give other people the space to push back. Like my video yesterday, where I talk about MIT doing a study. It's fact. And I'm like, YouTube, you show us that you're going to allow free speech. This is just factual information. I'm not spreading this information. All these other groups that are out there have always said that you have the science, but the real science is coming out and it's showing us. It's very obvious to a lot of. It's like the thing. Like I said earlier, we already know this. We already know 9/11 was like an inside job. We already know that the election in 2020 was, you know, right? You know. It's like, but do we have to keep talking about it? Yeah, it comes up occasionally in conversation. It's like, yeah, still the same, still nothing burger, bullshit. All right, so I just heard my wife Tracy was talking to Sean Taylor. A lot of you guys know him. Michelangelo, when he had just found out about Michelangelo's death. He said that it was because of Michelangelo, because Michelangelo was going through my email. He was doing my emails, checking my emails for me. And he told me about Sean. And I said, well, contact him, check him out. And so he calls Sean Taylor, and he's talking to him, and he's like, this guy sounds legit. And I was like, what? Where's he got? And I was like, dang, you're kidding me. So Sean Taylor has busted the hell out of these guys. And I guess he's here in DC. I don't know. Maybe he can come to the ceremony that we're gonna have on Saturday. That'd be cool to see him. But it was because of Michelangelo. And then we did those shows, and then he did shows with other people. And now I think he's in the Attorney General's office, and they're kicking some serious ass today, guys. All right. So again, things are turning around. And how do they turn around? Because we present that information, we talk about it, we push it, and it basically gets done because we do that. And there's no one person can do it. One person can flip the switch. There's no one person that can stop us if we align together and push back. Now they've used that against us, the good people of the earth, by starting wars against us. They've, you know, drummed up all this false information about, oh, these guys are bad, this, and then we go to war. We're not doing that anymore. See how they tried to push us over the last 4 years. We need to do this war with Ukraine. We need to do all this stuff, and we're like, no, we're not doing that. And more and more people are like turning away from that. Right? There's hardly anybody at this point, unless you're a Nazi supporter, of course, that is aligned with Ukraine. If you're aligned with Ukraine right now, you're a Nazi supporter. Period. Right? So that's the way I look at it. I mean, some people are like, well, I have other reasons why. I'm like, okay, but and I'll listen to you. It's like, you tell me, like, what do you got? Right? We'll discuss it. Right? So it is very interesting to see this deep state agenda, the globalist basically system fall apart, and that's going to continue. All right, guys. Great audience today. Lots of good chat. And I think that we'll turn this around through our sharing. Give it a thumbs up, give it a share, and we'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration.